Hi, I'm Lindsay Byers, and this is my e-poetry walkthrough. So I actually knew what poem I wanted to do right off the bat. It was a poem that I found on my Tumblr called A Drinking Song. The reason why I knew I wanted to do this for my e-poem was because it was shorter, and so felt like that would fit well with the e-poem layout, so it wouldn't be overcrowded with text. And then also, if you notice, each line kind of says something on it of its own, so that I could split these lines up easily and put them at different times. And even though each line was split up, you would still kind of get the same message since each line is so strong and says something of its own. Um, so to pick the song, I really wanted this, kind of love song because this poem is a very much so a love poem. But then at the end, it kind of has this I look at you and I sigh, and it's kind of like this nostalgic kind of feel to it. So I really wanted my song to portray that, and I was looking through my Spotify, looking through tons and tons of songs, and I really didn't have anything that jumped out at me. So I read through the poem again, and then this line, wine comes in at the mouth, reminded me of a song I have on my Spotify by Hosier called Cherry Wine. And it actually, I just thought it was perfect. It's this kind of, has this nice melody, it's kind of upbeat and happy, portrays this blissful love, romance. But then, like with Hosier's voice, it's kind of, it kind of just has that nostalgic feel, like, kind of exactly how I felt when I read the poem. So I thought it was great. The only problem was I couldn't find a good version of the song that was without the lyrics. And I initially didn't want lyrics because I have video and then I'm gonna have the text from the poem, and I just thought that the lyrics might overcrowd things a bit. Um, but I couldn't find a good version of the song that didn't have the lyrics that still had that same impact that the song with the lyrics had. So I decided to use the lyrics. And once I did that, that's when I decided that I was going to be really straightforward with my portrayal of this poem. I wasn't going to do anything too abstract, going to try to kind of keep things simple, simply because I didn't want to take with the lyrics in the song, I didn't want it to be too crowded, and I didn't want to take away from the meaning of the poem. Um, so first things first, I wanted just to find some video of these two people sharing kind of this connection of love. And the first thing I thought of was Ed Sheeran's music video to Thinking Out Loud. It's this really beautiful dance that begins right here with this woman, this dancer, who's dancing throughout the music video, but she's by herself, and she's doing this, really graceful dance, and it has this red background, which is perfect, talking about love, and then, straightforward talking about this wine. So this red works, and it's just really simple, and so I felt like it would be a good transitional piece, um, just for text or just a transition, because I knew I wanted to use multiple clips. So right away, I ended up isolating this one clip that I liked, and splitting it using this split feature right here, and then I ended up using it again. Here you see throughout the poem. Um, and so then it goes on from this dancer into um, this really beautiful kind of ballroom partner dance, and it's very personal. It shares the love between the two, and it really conveys exactly what I wanted my video to convey. So I mostly focus on this music video, but there was two parts in the poem that I really wanted to emphasize and have separate clips other from this, to emphasize. And the first one was and love comes in at the eye. And I just had this mental image of a video of this woman, maybe from a love song, something like that. And she's just looking, intensely looking at the camera. And so your focus is on her eyes, but, you know, I felt like that would really portray that in love comes in at the eye, because it's, you're sharing this deep connection with her. Which was actually a really difficult video to just search and find on YouTube. So I just started watching through music videos of love songs that I found on my Spotify. And I ended up finding one to a country song, Die Happy Man. And this clip right here is in it of this woman. She has this tropical kind of leaf, and she's looking up at it, and she has this, really intense look. And so the whole focus is this look. She's like kind of hiding and then she's looking up at it. And I thought that fit really well with the poem. So I did like I did with this clip right here, and I isolated this clip and cut it using the split feature so that I could use it again multiple times throughout the poem. And then the second line that I wanted to use to emphasize was I lift the glass to my mouth, just because I felt like that could be something that I could easily find a video of. I actually got lucky because in this same music video, a while later, this same girl is sharing a beer like on the boat. And so that fit perfectly because she's literally lifting a glass to her mouth. And then also one thing I really liked about it is if you notice here, she's intently looking at this man who's not really in the screen. The focus is her, but she's looking at him, you know, this intense, deep, personal look with the love in her eye. And so I feel like that really went well with the poem, with the whole, and then especially with this little line, you know, the love comes in the eye, and then I lift the glass to my mouth. I felt like it went perfectly. So I'll show you that clip right here. And I just really like the focus right here. It's, you know, the focus is literally on her and her looking. So I just felt like that went really great with the poem. And then the next piece that I have that was really kind of an important aspect of this is right here, this twirl. And there's a part in the song that has like this guitar. I'm not very versed with musical terminology, but it has this guitar, and I'll play it for you right here in a second, but it went perfectly with this spinning motion right here. So I'll play the guitar. That part right there, you kind of hear it, you know, go do-do-do-do-do. And I feel like that went really great with the spin. My only problem was the spin in the original pace of the video was like 0.2 seconds long, and it didn't last long enough for it to match up with the music like I wanted. So I ended up searching around on Camtasia, and after a while I finally found this feature where you could change the clip speed. So I ended up playing around, changing the speed, you know, taking it down percentages at a time to see exactly how slow it needed to be in order to fit, and 50% ended up being perfect. And then once I found that, I also applied it back to these isolated transitional clips. I applied it to this clip, and then to this one with the look, and then this one with the dancer. So I could change each of those clips individually to be slower if I needed that transition to match somewhere, just to fit. I could make it slower or faster, speed it up a little or slow it down so that it really fit perfectly where I want it to go. And so that was one part that was really important because I was able to get my clip speeds to match up with the music. I just feel like it makes more of an impact if the action happening, you know, in the video really fits the music well. And so then we near the end of the poem, and the next piece where I really use this clip speed feature is at the very end, right here. They share this personal connection where they actually look at each other. In the video, it's a split second where they look right into each other's eyes. And I really wanted to capture that for this last line of the poem because I wanted to make, you know, this last line, I wanted it to be super dramatic because it really has a dramatic feel for me in the poem. And so I really wanted to capture the split second where they look at each other. I'll make it bigger for you right here where they're looking at each other. And I wanted to say, I look at you. So I ended up slowing this clip down a lot so that I could match it up perfectly with my typing feature. I actually went, when I was recording in Microsoft Word, recording myself type, I ended up having to record it for like 3 minutes just so that I could play with it and crop this clip in Camtasia here so I could get it to fit perfectly with it and capture this I look at you moment. And so I'll play this piece of the clip. I really like this part because again we have the guitars kind of winding down as they're going into this corner to look at each other. I'll play that. So you see it's winding down here, and then they share this moment. to look at each other. And right here, this is where it was really challenging for me because I had to play with the sound. You can see it's two different clips right here. And that's because I was at the last line of my poem, I was winding down, but the song was not over yet. So I had to find, this, at the end of the song, I had to find where the guitar kind of wound down, it, got quieter and kind of faded out, and it was a live song. So then you hear these birds that you hear at the beginning, and then it kind of just fades away. And so then I had to match it up with with this part of the song. And so I'll let you hear that. And so you can hear it's still kind of a little choppy, so in my revision of the poem, I'm definitely going to have to pay attention to that and look through that. But then going to the end here, they share this look. You get this nice transition as the music is ending. And right with the music ending, she kind of spins and turns away. I was really proud of how that matched up. And then we still have the text here, but there's no music anymore. You can see we're past the music here, and we're past the picture. And I did that intentionally because, like I said, I felt like this last poem was really dramatic, and then it was also where you get that I sigh, like this nostalgic feel that I was kind of going for in the song when I started. And I felt like in order to make it dramatic, actually, it works really well with just a plain black background and no music, no image. Just a black and the text, and I thought that was really dramatic. And I thought it actually turned out really well. I was really happy with how my poem turned out. There's definitely like things that I'm going to work on in the revisions. One of them being whenever we were looking through the sample e-poems, there's a lot of video overlay. And I know I said in the beginning, since I had lyrics in the song, I was careful to not make it too much so it wouldn't distract or take away from the poem itself. But I think I could do some video overlay perhaps in a revision, and then a couple other things I could work on as well, transitions, especially with the song to make it stronger. But overall, I was really happy with how it turned out, and I actually really love this assignment.